I've had family and friends reach out to me with many inquiries about contraceptives and family planning, many of which arise from misconceptions. I think the most common one I've heard is that long term use of these contraceptive methods could lead to infertility. Not could, like actually leads to infertility, which is mind blowing and very untrue, by the way. That is why I decided to make this video. As a doctor, I mean, medical doctor, I know discussing this can sometimes feel very overwhelming because of the technical jargons. That is why I'm here to break it down for you in a very simple and relatable way. We talk about the various types of family planning or contraceptives. We'll debunk some myths and talk about the importance of informed decision making. So without any further ado, let's just get right into the video. Family planning is a health service, okay, that helps couples to decide whether or not to have children, when to have them, the number of children, and then the interval or spacings between these children. Essentially, what family planning does is to help couples to achieve fertility and to also help other couples prevent pregnancy. Contraception, however, is the prevention of pregnancy. And contraceptive is a drug, a device, or a surgical procedure that is used to prevent pregnancy. Family planning helps to prevent unwanted pregnancies. It helps to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted diseases. And addressing the problems of sexually transmitted diseases, it helps to prevent infertility, because most sexually transmitted diseases, if not treated long term, can lead to infertility. So a way of classifying them is grouping them into reversible methods and then permanent methods. Under the reversible methods, we have the hormonal methods, the barrier methods, IUD, and then under permanent, we have tubal ligation and then vasectomy. And so when you hear barrier methods, think of condoms. Okay, commonly when you hear of barrier methods, you think of condoms. When you hear of hormonal methods, you think of the post pills. Okay, you think of the implants. You think of the injectables. Tubal ligation is actually a surgical procedure where the fallopian tubes are cut and tied. Okay, so the function of the fallopian tube is to act as a passageway for the egg that's from the woman, and then the sperm that's going to come from the man to meet and fertilize, and they make their way into the womb so the baby, which is the embryo, can grow. What it means is that if these tubes are cut and tied, there is no way fertilization is going to happen, and there's no way an embryo or a baby will be formed and will move into your uterus to grow, right? And vasectomy is a surgical procedure that's done in men. There's something called the vas deferens. It's also like a tube. It also acts as a passageway for sperms from the testes, where they are produced, into the urethra, which is present in the penis.
So in a vasectomy, the vas deferens are cut and tied up so that sperms cannot be ejaculated.
Both of these methods are sterilization methods, okay? That is to render the man or the woman sterile, okay? So that's how come they are both permanent methods. Another way of classification is when we group them into hormonal methods and the non-hormonal methods. Okay, so under the hormonal methods, we have the pill, injections, implants, and under the non-hormonal, we have the barrier methods, which I said is condoms, male and female sterilization methods, which we talk about. That's the vasectomy and tubal ligation, and IUDs. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about a few of the hormonal methods available in Ghana, and then some of the non-hormonal methods also available in Ghana. I can't do everything, so I'm just going to give like concise information about each of them. Some examples are the pills, the implants, and the injectables. One example of the injectables you usually hear in Ghana is the depo. These methods are essentially made up of hormones. The hormonal methods employ two hormones, okay, to function: the estrogen hormone and then the progesterone hormone. Okay, In the menstrual cycle, what happens is that the estrogen helps the egg, your ovaries. The ovaries are like the organs that produces your eggs. Okay, so this estrogen helps the eggs which are being produced by the ovaries to mature. Okay, and then what the progesterone does is that it supports this matured egg and also helps prepare the uterus for a possible pregnancy. In the event where no pregnancy occurs, that is when a lady doesn't have sexual intercourse and then the egg isn't fertilized, there's a reduction in both hormones. Okay, there's a reduction in the estrogen and then there's a reduction in the progesterone. When this happens, these two hormones that are supposed to support your uterus to be all matured and get all ready for the incoming baby, since they've decreased or they are like no more, they wouldn't be performing their job, right? So this will lead to the shedding of your uterus, which comes out as menstruation. Okay, I explained this because the hormonal methods employ this whole science, okay, to work. So one, they prevent the ovaries from producing this egg in the first place. Remember, the estrogen was supposed to help the ovaries, but then we have these hormonal contraception or hormonal family planning methods that are preventing this from happening, which essentially means that if you don't produce any egg, there is no way a sperm will come and fertilize something. Like there's no egg, so what would the sperm be coming to do in the first place? Do you understand? The way these hormonal methods work is they take in the mucus that's present in the cervix. Okay, the cervix is like the opening to your womb. Okay, if this is your womb, like the cervix is like here, that's like the opening. So they'll take in the mucus there, and what this does is that if the mucus around that area, or let me say if the water around that area is thickened, there's the sperm would find some kind of difficulty, okay, to make a way through your cervix into your womb, into your fallopian tubes to go and look for an egg to fertilize, right? Let's talk about the pills. They're also known as oral contraceptives. Some people call them birth control pills. Okay, so some types of pills are made up of both hormones, that's estrogen and progesterone, and we have those are called the combination pills. On the Ghanaian market, you hear of brands like Lydia, Secure. Okay, those are combination pills. So it means those pills are made up of estrogen and progesterone. And we have types that are made up of just progesterone, okay, or progestin. That's all I'm going to say now. If you want more information on them, leave them in the comment section, and then I might make a part 2 to this video, okay? In Ghana, what's usually available is the Jadel. It's made up of 2 rods that contain the progesterone or progestin hormone, and they last for as long as 5 years. These rods are usually inserted at this area of the arm. After insertion, within a period of 8 hours, levels are sufficient enough to prevent pregnancy. And when you get them taken out, within 24 hours, you would have your fertility right back. Ghana, what's available and what is commonly patronized is the Depo-Provera. This is injected once every 3 months. So it means if you're on this method every 3 months, you'd have to go and see your healthcare personnel, and it is injected into the muzzle of the arm, the butt, or just under the skin. This one I would like to talk about is the barrier method, which is the condom. Thank you. When you hear of barrier, I'm sure you think of a physical blockade. Okay, so there's a physical block of the sperms. Okay, and the barrier method, specifically the condom, there are other types. Okay, but then in Ghana, what's available is the condoms. Okay, and this is the only family planning method or the only contraceptive that has protection against sexually transmitted diseases. So if you are on, say, the post pill, you could get infected with STIs. Okay, what the post pill is in is to prevent pregnancy. Okay, but it's not going to prevent you from getting infected with an STI. But then if you use the barrier methods, which is the condom, this is the only contraceptive that is able to prevent contraception or pregnancy, and is also able to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there are 2 types of condoms. Okay, we have the male condoms and then the female condoms. But of course, the female condoms, they are not like readily available, are they? Well, they are, like they are in the system, but they are not really patronized. Okay, I think it's usually the male condoms that's patronized. So these condoms, some are made up of a material called latex and some are non-latex. Okay, one big advantage of the barrier methods or the condoms is because, as I said, it's going to prevent you from STIs. But then the disadvantage is that for each episode of sexual intercourse, you'd have to change it. IUD stands for intrauterine device. Intra means inside, uterine is the womb, device is a device. Okay, IUDs are hated on. I mean, IUDs, they have so many misconceptions when it comes to them. Like people talk about how, like, when you get an IUD, it can migrate to like other parts of your body. People talk about how an IUD could cause an ectopic pregnancy. People talk about how a IUD need the okosha benya infections, baby. Like, these are all misconceptions. Okay, these are not true. Okay, your IUD is not going to migrate. Your IUD is not going to give you any pelvic infection. Okay, the IUD is not going to let you get any ectopic pregnancy. Like, the IUD is going to prevent you from getting pregnant in the first place. So where is the ectopic going to come from? So let's talk about how these IUDs work. So what they do is that they prevent the sperms from moving. They immobilize these sperms or even kill them. And another way is they prevent the sperms from fertilizing the egg. So they are kind of like fighting the sperms from, getting that egg fertilized. They create a very toxic space in the uterus, like a space that's toxic for the sperm, like a place that's like very uncomfortable for the sperm. So essentially the sperms wouldn't even survive. How long do IUDs last? IUDs can last for as long as 10 years. You heard me, like 10 long years. This is all I'm going to talk about for now. Once again, if you have any questions, if you want more understanding on one particular thing I said, leave your questions in the comment section. If you'd want a part 2 for me to elaborate more on these contraceptives or family planning methods, let me know. So remember, choosing the right method is crucial for your lifestyle and your health. And getting on family planning in Ghana is free, guys. So let us be more intentional about our health. Okay, if you are sexually active, you can walk into any Ghana Health Service approved facility and you'll be counseled by a healthcare personnel, and you choose the method that is very much appropriate for you. I'm happy to have made this video. I really hope you found it helpful. And guys, please subscribe. Like, what are you doing? Please kindly subscribe, like, share, tell someone about this channel. Okay, all right, so bye, see you in the next video.